How's it going, everybody? It's your boy Crugg here, and in today's video I have a banger of a story to tell you guys. Now, before I even start telling the story, for one, I want to apologize for what sounds like a damn jet engine in my background. I have a white noise machine turned on, that way I can just tune out the sound of my neighbors, because my neighbors get kinda loud. But anyways, I have a banger of a story for you guys today, and that story is my first time trying shrooms. Now, this story actually happened back in the summer of this year, or actually I should say last year now, because we're officially in 2026 as I'm recording this. Now, I tried shrooms back in summer of 2025, and it was a very interesting time to say the least. Now, before I get into the story, let me take a quick bong rip of this Gorilla Glue I got from my fucking plug. I don't know how he got his hands on it. I haven't seen this shit in years, but it is OG Gorilla Glue. So let me take a hit of this real quick, and we'll start off today's story. Ooh. Alright. Now to start off with the story. So, this was in summer of 2025, right? I was hanging out with my uncle this day. I'm not going to call him by his real name. What should I call him? We'll call him my Uncle Stan. Yeah, Uncle Stan. So I was hanging out with my Uncle Stan today, right? Now at this time, me and him were like hanging out every weekend, just so me and him, because he liked getting out of the house, and his wife didn't want to get out all the time, and, you know, I had nothing to do, and I still don't a lot of the time, so it was like, whatever, you know, we can just hang and go out and do some stuff, random stuff, right? So that's what we would do. So we planned this out. We were going to hang out today. We were just going to chill at his place and kick it, you know, back and just take it easy, right? But he wanted to get some stuff done before we did that. So he picks me up. It's probably about 8 o'clock in the morning at this point, because, you know, us upstate New Yorkers, we're up early most of the time, you know. At least most of us. We're up early and we want to get the day started, so that's how we do it. So, you know, he picks me up at like 8 a.m. We've both already been up for a couple hours at this point, so it's like, oh, I asked my Uncle Stan, yo, what are we doing today? He's like, well, there's some wood that I need to get. And I said, what do you mean you need to get some wood? I mean, he said, well, I need to get some wood because we got no firewood. And I'm like, all right, what's the plan then? He said, we're going to go back to my place, pick up the fucking SUV, put the tow on it, and we're going to go get some fucking firewood. I know where there is some, right? And I was like, all right, whatever. We go, and keep in mind, it's like a 45-minute drive from his place to mine. So we have to drive 45 minutes back to his place, and then 45 minutes back to where the city is. And I'm like, yo, where are we getting this wood? He said, just up here. And he goes to like this like lot, right, where it's like this old couple owns like this property and they just live in it, and it used to be like an auto shop garage back in like the 80s or 90s or some shit. And he's like, they got a bunch of pallets here. And I'm like, okay. And he said that he spoke to the owners and they're cool with us taking the wood because they have no use for it. Why are they having a bunch of pallets? I don't know. Are they moving fucking heavy weight for the Sinaloa cartel? Maybe. I got no clue. It could be like that one Clint Eastwood movie or whatever, you know, The Mule. It could be like that. That's what these people are, just moving hella weight and nobody knows about it. But anyways, I digress. So we would get the wood, we go back to his place, and now it's just we're chilling, right? And he's like, yo, you want to have some beers? And I'm like, sure. So I drink a couple beers, right? And I forgot to mention, this is how the conversation of shrooms got brought up. On the way back, I said to him, yo, Uncle Stan, you want to know something? He's like, what's up, man? I said to him, I've never really done shrooms before. He's like, you haven't? That's surprising. I said, yeah, I know, right? He said, man, I can get you some shrooms. And I'm like, all right, dude, fuck yeah. So we go back to his place, right? And he's like, yo, you want to have some drinks? And I was like, sure. We drink a couple beers. We got the Budweisers. We're drinking. I'm smoking a little bit, too. And then he's like, yo, you want to start that fire, right? Because you know how it is when you're drunk, and it's like you just want to do something outside or just do something active. You don't want to just sit around. He was like that. He was like, yo, you want to start that fire? So I was like, sure, fuck it, why not, right? So we start the fire, right? And then he mentions to his wife, hey, Crugg told me he's never done shrooms before. Let's get like 2 grams of them out. And I'm like, fuck yeah. So she goes and gets some, and she takes some with me, which was cool, right? It was like, you know, fuck it, like, obviously my uncle's going to be the trip sitter, but it's like, if you're doing shrooms, you don't want to just do them by yourself sometimes, right? You need someone to match that with you, right? So my aunt matches me, you know, and we take the shrooms, right? We have it on, like, she took a Ritz cracker and put some peanut butter on it, and then put the shrooms on that. That way it's like it didn't taste like shit, because if you don't know, shrooms come from cow shit. That's how they grow most of the time. Like, whenever you're eating shrooms, it most likely came off of cow shit. Like, I don't know the exact process, but the fungus grows on cow shit, right? So, you know, I eat it on this cracker. I eat one cracker that has like a gram on it, right? I wait about an hour. I'm feeling pretty good, but I'm not, like, tripping, right? So I say to her, yo, I'm not really tripping. Is it okay if I get a little more shrooms? And she's like, are you sure? And I'm like, yeah. Because keep in mind, at this point, I was already 8 beers deep. I probably smoked, like, an eighth of bud through a pipe and, like, in joints total. And not to mention, I already had a gram of shrooms. She's like, are you sure? And I'm like, sure, fuck it, why not? You know, I can handle it. I'm not going to die. So I eat another gram of shrooms, right? Another hour passes, right? My aunt's fucked up. She's got to go in. So it's just me and my Uncle Stan chilling, right? We're fucking talking, you know. He's got the big speaker out. We're listening to Johnny Cash. We're listening to Folsom Prison Blues. And he says to me, yo, can we go in real quick so we can bring the dog out? And we're both fucking shit-faced at this point. I'm tripping hardcore. I remember I was looking at the stars, and it looked like the stars were moving towards me and then back, towards me and then back. And then I would look at the fire, and it looked like the fire was, like, pulsating, like it was breathing. And I was like, whoa. Like, and now keep in mind, these were old shrooms. These were probably, like, 6 to 8 months old at this point, so they probably lost some potency. But I never tripped before, and I already had 8 beers in my system and an eighth of bud. So it's like, I was fucked up. But I digress. So, we go and we grab his dog, right? And we're gonna go, he has a little leash that's on a wire, or like a line, right? Like, you know those old school, like, laundry lines that people would put in the backyard? He had that kind of set up, but it wasn't for that. It was just for the dog's leash, so we could have more range of motion, right? So, he's going to grab the dog, and it just slips out of his, like, because he would grab it by the collar, so it couldn't escape his grip, because the dog would run off a lot, right? Out in the woods, and it would run off for like 5 minutes and then come back, right? But the dog slipped out of his grip and just took off down that trail, and I was like, oh shit. He's like, fuck it, he'll be back. So we sit by the fire, we're talking more, right? About 10 minutes pass, 5-10 minutes pass, and then my aunt comes out and said, hey, have you guys seen the dog? And my uncle was just like, wait a minute. He's not in there? Because he completely forgot the dog ran off at this point, because we got so lost in conversation. We were talking about some deep shit. He's like, he's not in there with you? And she was like, no. So we start calling out to him. He doesn't come back, right? We just go inside. He's like, he's thinking he's got to be in there somewhere, and she just didn't see him. Because it's a black lab. It might be sitting in, like, the dark corners or something. But he wasn't in there. So she comes out again and said, Stan, you got to look for that fucking dog. He's never been gone for this long. Because at this point, the dog was gone for like 20-ish minutes. So he's like, fine, I'll go out there and look for him. And I was like, do you want me to come with you? And he's like, sure, fuck it, why not? Now keep in mind, right? My uncle's backyard has a little trail that goes down it. And then connected to that trail is a fucking full-on cemetery. Now, it's about 3 a.m. at this point. 3 a.m. We have to walk down that cemetery. We have no lights, by the way. The only light I have is on a shitty Android phone that's from, like, 2017. Right? Because I had no good phone. I broke my phone at this point, so I was using a shitty backup one from years ago. So I'm in this cemetery, tripping balls, stoned as fuck, shit-faced from all the beer. I have a trifecta going, right? I'm looking around. Keep in mind, this entire time I was looking back in those woods thinking I was seeing something, right? Now I'm looking around in this cemetery, right? It's dark as fuck. It's darker than Skid Row. That might sound racist to say, but that's the only way. It's dark as fuck, and it's scary as fuck, right? It went quiet, dead quiet for like 3 minutes. You couldn't even hear a bug making noise. You didn't hear the crickets or nothing. And then all of a sudden, I hear, like, on the grass, and I was like, what the fuck? And it was the fucking dog, and it ran at me and then ran back down the trail, and it scared the shit out of me. I didn't yell or nothing. I went, like that, because it spooked me. But I was so fucked up, I just couldn't yell. I was just like, whoa, like, it didn't process, like, what fully happened at that second. If it was, like, some fucking skinwalker, I would have been fucked. I would have been dead. Like, that would have been the end of me. You guys wouldn't be hearing the story. But anyways, it was the dog, right? And it scared the shit out of me. My Uncle Stan yelled, get the fuck back here! And the dog, like, quickly hit a U-ey. Like, he drifted and hit a U-turn and came back to us. My uncle grabs it by the collar and just escorts it back to the fucking house, right? So, I get back in there, right? And I don't know if y'all get the full picture of how scary that is. Imagine being on shrooms, 8 beers deep, and 8 the weed deep, in a cemetery at 3 a.m. with very little light. I could see maybe 10 feet in front of me. Maybe. And keep in mind, it was a cloudy night, so there wasn't even, like, that glow of the moon. Like, dude, that shit's horrifying. But anyways, I get back into the fucking house, right? And I just pass the fuck out. Like, I mean, I was tired at this point. I was tired physically and mentally and emotionally. I was tired of the bullshit. I was physically tired because I had been up since like 1 a.m. the day before. I was just over everything, so I'm laughing my ass off about like how scared I was, and then I just zonk out and pass the fuck out until like noon the next day. But anyways, yeah, that's my first time trying shrooms. I really hope you guys enjoyed this story. It's a very significant one in my life, to say the least. But yeah, anyways, yeah, that was my first time trying shrooms. I hope you guys did enjoy this story. I plan on being more consistent with my uploads in the future, so watch out for that. I'm also thinking about changing up my content from just other stuff besides like my stories, like talking about like, you know, so maybe like more educational stuff. I'm not going to be like, you know, Mr. Professor with it or nothing, but I am going to try and be like, you know, make some educational videos talking about certain drugs that people may have heard of or not know about. Anyways, that's going to be it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you guys like this video, make sure to leave a like, and if you guys want to see more content from me in the future, let me know by fucking subscribing to the channel and turning on post notifications. Anyways, I'll see you guys all later.